Vice President Kamala Harris formally accepted her loss to President-elect Donald Trump. She defended her campaign as a fight for democracy and emphasized a peaceful transfer of power. But there was one moment that stood out to me.
Don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible because it has never been done before.
The crowd was clearly emotional. Had she been victorious, it would have meant the first woman, the first Black woman, the first South Asian woman to hold the office. Within hours of the vice president announcing that she would seek the nomination after President Biden dropped out of the race, it was Black women who rallied to raise more than $1 million for her campaign. Black women were elated. But underneath those efforts was a persistent question. Was America ready to elect a Black woman to its highest office? The answer was a resounding no. The vice president entered this race under extraordinary circumstances that we've not really seen in recent history. She became the nominee effectively overnight. She went on to galvanize the party.
It's been a bit of a whirlwind.
She resuscitated a dying campaign under President Biden. She needed to introduce herself to the American electorate. And she had to do that while walking a tightrope as a sitting vice president. Some Democrats think that she ran an overly cautious campaign in which she failed to distinguish herself from President Biden. Some believe that she represents a party that has increasingly failed to resonate with a new generation. But for others, it affirmed what people believe to be the worst truth of this election. This country would rather elect a man with 34 felonies who had repeatedly disparaged women and people of color, who peddled in lies and vowed to use his political power to punish his enemies, rather than elect a qualified woman of color. Vice President Harris did not emphasize her race nor her gender during this campaign. Millions of Americans saw Kamala Harris as a chance to usher in a new generation of leadership. And for Black women in particular, the Democratic Party's most loyal voting bloc, Kamala Harris's candidacy represented a vindication for the women who had come before her and who had fallen short in their efforts. In her concession speech, Harris tacitly acknowledged this.
Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up.
As the Democratic Party grapples with Donald Trump's victory, they have a lot of soul searching to do. And as has been the case throughout history, Black women will be central to that.